The Cooper and Anthony Show.
You know what that means?
Sex, relationships, and advice.
So here's what I learned from TikTok today. Do you know about this place in Florida called The Villages?
No.
Okay, so it is this area where 55 plus, it's mostly like people in their 60s and 70s and even older. It's where they live. It's like it's a retirement community, basically. But there's all these things you can do, like every other retirement community. There's pool and golf and tennis.
Shuffleboard.
Shuffleboard. Except at The Villages, it's known for sex parties.
No.
There was this study a couple of years ago, and they had interviewed all these people at The Villages, and they found like people over the age of 65 were getting chlamydia and sexually transmitted diseases like crazy because they're not worried about getting pregnant anymore, but they're not thinking about the possibility that they could get chlamydia or other sexually transmitted infections. So here's the new thing that I saw on TikTok today. Here's how the people at The Villages communicate with each other. You know those loofah things, those puffs that you use in the shower? Like they come in all different colors.
Yeah, like a sponge.
Yeah, but it's a loofah. They call them loofahs. So there's this loofah code that they have at The Villages. And based on what kind of sexual thing you're into, that's the color loofah that you hang on your car. I'm not even kidding.
That you put on your car?
Yes, to communicate to all the other people. And it's funny because on this one TikTok, I was watching this guy. He was following these two older people around like a CVS or something, and they walked over to the loofahs and they were like pawing through and choosing colors, and the person was cracking up because they were like, are they going to choose purple? Are they going to choose black? Like
yellow?
How deep into this? Yeah. So white means that you're a novice and a beginner. Purple means you like to watch. You're a voyeur. Like you'll show up, but you just want to sit back and watch everybody else have sex. Pink means it's called soft swap. So you like to do it with other people in the room. Like you will have sex with your significant other in a room with other people. You won't swap yet. That's why it's called soft swap. Blue is the lowest level of full swap. So it means like we can play a little. Black is full
Is game
swap.
on.
Yeah, like let it all go down. Like everything is on the table. Me, you, him, her, them, us, doesn't matter. Teal means you're bisexual for those who want to increase their dating chances. So if you're 80 years old, you've been with the same woman for 50 years, and you're thinking, I might want to see what it's like to play with men. Teal, that's your color.
See, that makes sense because every time I went to a nude beach, everybody was over the age of 100. There's nobody at the nude beach under, I would say, 75.
Yeah, it's so interesting that generation is like finally opening up sexually. Think about it. Their whole lives, they were with like maybe one person, or they did stuff on the sly or on the down low. Now they can be really open about it. Now they can come out and be like, yeah, we swing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Here's my loofah.
Right, here's my loofah. Here's the level of loofah I'm into. And it's scary because the other day, I like those loofahs because I use body wash. So now I have to be really careful about the color loofah I buy and who's standing
black.
around me. I might have to go back to bar soap.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Something called
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
So there is good naked and there is bad naked.
Yeah.
Good naked is when you're, how you doing? Bad naked is when you run out of the house and the neighbors are standing there.
Right. Good naked is when you've sort of planned the naked, or you're excited for the naked, and bad naked is when naked happens to you.
So yesterday, when you called me and I didn't answer the phone,
Yeah.
I let it go to voicemail.
Yeah.
I was in the shower
Okay.
with my phone.
Okay.
Because I always bring my phone into the shower because I like listening to radio and it's right there in the shower and I have enough room to put the phone in there. I almost thought for a second to hit answer.
FaceTime.
My fear is that you would have FaceTimed me and I didn't see the FaceTime and then Yeah, that's not good naked.
Right, that is not good. I barely want to see you clothed.
Yeah, so for a second, I'm like, no. You know what? I'm just going to let it go to voicemail, and then I'm going to text her and say, I'll call you in 3 minutes.
Do you know how much therapy I would need to have if I ever accidentally saw you naked? It's like seeing your brother, or worse, seeing your father naked. That's what it's so bad that I would never stop screaming. I would have to go to some serious PTSD therapy. As you were saying that, you reminded me of a time when I used to do a little more drinking than I do now. Now, zero, but I used to do like quite a bit of drinking. And my girlfriends and I used to always go away together, someplace really fun. We go someplace different every time we would take a long weekend, like some holiday weekend. And this one time we went to Ocean City, Maryland, and we got this like really cheesy hotel, but it was fine. It was okay. And it was one of these hotels that you had to you shared a bathroom in the hallway. Mm-hmm. So I was coming out of the hallway. I was going to the shower with my stuff, and I was like, it's just the girls. It's just us. No big deal. And I just threw a towel around me, and I just a towel and some flip-flops and my shampoo, and I walk over to the shower. And I'm in the shower, and I'm doing my thing, and I come out, and I guess, because it was a hotel towel that I used, I guess the cleaning staff had come through and thought that it was just a towel just sitting there, and they took it. So when I came out, my towel was gone. There was no towel. Yeah, there was no towel. And I was like, oh my God. And I realized I was naked because I was just going to go with my towel. And I go across the hall to let myself back in. And I also had forgotten my key. So I didn't think about my key. I didn't think about any of this because I was, like I said, I was drinking a little. It was right after happy hour. We were like, the way we used to do is we would go to happy hour, go back and shower, take a disco nap, and then go out for the night. Mm-hmm. So this was post happy hour, pre-disco nap, and pre-going out for the night. So my brain was just a little bit sloshed at the moment. So I didn't have a towel anymore and also not a key. So I was like, yeah. I had to remember what door my friends were, where their rooms were.
You're knocking on the door going, I hope this is their room.
Please, God, let this be Stacy's room.
Yeah, because if this is random guy room, he's going to be very happy right now.
He's going to be like, wow.
That was quick.
There's some service here.
Yeah, I ordered this 10 minutes ago. That was fast.
All right, so have you ever been bad naked? Have you been caught naked in a terrible scenario?
Call now.
888-460-6002.
And online at CooperandAnthony.com. Sex, relationships, advice.
Right now.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Have you ever been caught bad naked? There's good naked, where you want to be naked, and then there's the kind of naked you were not prepared for.
Yeah, your story you just had was at a hotel, and you locked yourself out of the room naked.
Naked.
Same thing happened to a rock star friend of ours.
Okay.
Edwin McCain. Same thing. He went outside to get a newspaper. You know, when they put the newspaper outside the door, he went out, he was naked, the door shut, and there he is, rock star, long hair, in a hotel, naked.
Can you imagine being a fan and walking by and be like, oh, look, it's Edwin McCain's penis? Wait a minute. That's Edwin McCain, and he's naked.
There's a camera somewhere. I swear to God, this is being
Pull out your
right
cell
now.
phone.
I bet a lot of people have that exact same story. Look, I walked out of my hotel room. There's Edwin McCain naked.
Hey, Ed.
One night, I live out in the country, out in the middle of nowhere, and, never have no company and nothing just that does. And I live about a half mile off the road. And one Saturday night, my wife, she went out to go get the dinner for us. Went to go get some fixed up pizza.
Right.
And while she was gone, it was about 9 o'clock. I went to the shower, and I was waiting around the house naked, and here she come driving down the driveway. She had a little blue Honda Accord, and I had 2 male Dobermans. And if anybody strange would ever drive down, they would always bark at the car. So here comes this little car, and I said, well, hell, I'll make Mama happy, proud. So I said I'd go out there naked and
Outside.
help her get the pizza.
Surprise her.
Right, and so I turned all the porch lights on, and we had this little cedar tree we would always park beside. So I went running out the door. The dogs didn't bark or nothing. Went up underneath that cedar tree, and I leaned inside the car, and I heard, "Boy, get you some clothes on." It was a man with his, it was my cousin. I hadn't seen him about 6 years. Who had his date with him, who I'd never ever seen. And he was driving down the road. He said, "Now, this boy's kind of wild. Nobody's going to see a hair out of him." And sure enough, here I was naked.
Naked, leaning in the door, leaning right in the window.
I mean, what he had was, he had a little gray Honda, a Toyota, and we had a little blue Honda. They was identical, and the dogs...
And in the dark, right.
The dogs didn't even bark.
Because they know him.
No, it looked like my car.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love that he had a date with him.
Yeah, and so, like he hollered, "Boy, get you some clothes on."
That's so funny.
That didn't sound like Mama.
Call now
888-460-6002.
and online at CooperandAnthony.com.
Something called
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
We are wondering, have you ever been bad naked? We don't want to hear about your good naked. We assume you're normally good naked. Nah, we want to hear about the times that you were caught unexpectedly naked, or maybe you saw somebody unexpectedly naked that you didn't want to be seeing.
Call now
888-460-6002.
and online at CooperandAnthony.com. Sex,
with an attitude.
relationships,
I had a relationship once.
and advice.
So you got any advice for me?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
I love how everybody has a story about being caught bad naked. It's such a common experience. You know, you think it happens to you and you're like, I'm never telling anybody this story. And then you're like, wait a minute. It's literally happened to everybody.
Do you ever walk around your apartment naked?
Occasionally, yeah. I'm not as much of a nudist as my boyfriend is. He's naked all the time. He can't wait to come home and shed his clothes. He sleeps naked. He would be naked all the time if we didn't have like people delivering stuff to the house.
I can't imagine, because you live in an apartment that the windows are open all the time.
Yeah, he didn't care.
He doesn't care.
No, every once in a while I'm like, just put a robe on. my mother's coming over. Just put a robe on.
But you hardly ever walk around just from the kitchen to the living room.
I don't even want to shower naked. But Kelly, you're naked all the time.
Yes, all the time. I need to move to a nude ranch. They should put a Domino's in a nude ranch. And then I could just walk around and just have fun. I hate clothes.
Now,
It's
so
no fun.
you hang around your house naked.
Yeah, when nobody's there. I'm
And-
not gonna walk around in front of people.
Now, do you answer the phone naked?
Yeah, all the time.
And do you watch TV naked?
Sometimes, yes.
But what if the people on the TV can see you?
Can't see you.
That is impossible, okay? The day that they do that, I'll probably get one, but I won't watch it naked.
They're working on that technology right now, Chris. I'm worried.
Well, I'll make sure that I can turn it off and on.
I feel like my DVR can see me naked.
But I did do that one time because there's a guy that worked here who is now a weatherman on a TV station. And I walked out of my shower and I saw him on TV and went, ah! It's like, he can't see me.
And then were you uncomfortable next time you saw him in person?
Yeah, because I actually know him. I don't know anybody else on TV. I know him. So I thought he could see me, but he couldn't see me. I asked
You
him.
liked it.
Yeah, you liked
No, I
it.
did not.
It's all right. You can be honest with me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
goodbye.
Now, Tom.
Yep.
Now you have a good naked story for us. A good one.
Well, it's pretty good. It's similar to yours. I went home for Christmas, and I hadn't been home for 6 months. So I got home the Saturday before Christmas and was running around seeing all my friends and family.
Naked?
So I stopped No, I was fully clothed.
Okay.
But I wound up stopping at a friend's house who I hadn't seen in about 6 months. So I pulled up and I saw his car was outside and his lights were on, so I figured he was home. So I knock on the door, and a minute or so goes by, and he finally answers the door wrapped in a towel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, are you busy? He's like, yeah, you don't want to know. And I was fine with this explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Then he proceeds to tell me that he has someone tied up on his couch. But it gets better. So I was saying, say no more, just call me tomorrow. as he proceeds to want to give me a hug because he hasn't seen me in 6 months.
God.
And I'm like, please don't hug me in your towel doing whatever you're doing up in your apartment. You know, it's one thing to call someone during that stuff, but to show up and see them face to face, yeah, it's not something you're very comfortable getting to see the person next time.
Right, and 5 feet away, someone's tied up naked.
Yeah, tie up. You know, it was the most interesting Christmas story. So like you, I get off, I leave his house and call everyone I've ever met.
Of course.
You know, like, guys, you got to hear what just happened.
And did they know the guy that you went to his house? The people that you called?
Some of them knew right away. I didn't say names, just, to save him some embarrassment. But they were like, you were at Ed's house, weren't you? And I'm like, yes, I was.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Something called
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
I've seen Weird Naked at a naked beach, and the thing is, people there are... My favorite thing about being at a nude beach, if you ever stumble onto one or if somebody invites you to one and you're sort of bold one day and you're like, I'll go to a naked beach, is that you think you're going to be seeing good naked the whole time.
When I moved to New York and I went to the beach for the first time, and you are from that part of New York, and you never warned me never to go left at Robert Moses. Don't go to Robert Moses Beach and turn left and go towards Fire Island. Never do that. You never said that. And here I am walking down the beach. There's naked.
And my boyfriend said to me, you should warn him. I'm like, no, I want him to see naked beach. Maybe he'll love it. Maybe that'll be a gift. Maybe we work him so hard. He's exhausted. Maybe it's time he saw a pair of boobs.
It's not the good naked.
It's never good naked. I love Long Islanders, and I love the people I grew up with, but honestly, none of us are good naked.
Yeah, so if you go to Robert Moses Beach, take a right.
Yeah.
Never a left. Bad left, righty good, lefty bad.
Righty tighty. Lefty loosey.
Lefty very loosey.
Very loosey. Too loosey. Georgie, have you ever been bad naked?
Years ago, I used to play softball. And I played left field, and I had a chain link fence. It was about 5 foot tall, and I ran across it. And I stand 6'5", and the old boy hit a ball and about it went away up over the fence, and I went and running and jumped up over the fence, and the fence caught my pants and ripped them off of me. Here I am out in the middle of a ball field, naked as a jaybird.
Oh, God. Naked by accident.
I run around the house now naked.
You do or don't?
Ain't nobody there.
Okay.
Look, I can solve your problem, ma'am.
Go.
Running around the house being naked.
Go.
What you need to do is become a biker.
Become a biker?
Yeah, and go to all these Harley rallies and everything. You wear thongs and leather chaps. When you get back home, then you're not ashamed to walk around naked.
Oh.
I like that.
I'm going to go become a biker.
Sex, relationships, advice. The Cooper and Anthony Show. Sex, relationships, advice.
What?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Hey, it's the Cooper and Anthony Show. I'm Cooper Lawrence. That is Anthony Michaels sitting over there. So did you see that Megan Fox is looking for a girlfriend?
Is she really?
So she's engaged to Machine Gun Kelly. So, can you blame her? He's a lot. He is a handful. So I guess she needs a break from his crap. So she's very clear that her type is Jenna Jameson and Olivia Wilde. Those are the two women that she has crushes on.
Me too.
So, yeah. You know what?
We have
Honestly,
the same type.
Me too. They're totally hot. So she also said in the past she's had relationships with women. She dated a stripper for a long time. So she said, if you're interested, hit her up in her DMs.
Hey, it looks like we have a call right now from Sarah, who wants to date Megan Fox.
Hello?
Oh.
How do I get in touch with her?
That sounds like Antonia.
No, Sarah, hey, that's my type too.
But what do you look like, Antonia?
5'10", about 200 pounds.
Oh, no.
short gray hair to goatee.
You sound like Cooper, except for drop the height about a foot. You sound exactly like Cooper.
Yeah, my gray goatee. Yeah. Sounds just like me. Can you imagine it as a radio bit if I slid into her DMs and she contacted me?
I don't know why you're not doing that right now.
Because what if she's interested? Then I have to go have sex with Megan Fox.
Okay.
But I don't know what to do. It would have to be one of those things where, like, okay, so you know when Britney Spears was on X Factor and they had that little bug in her ear because the producer would tell her what to do?
Mm-hmm.
I would need that. I would need you in my ear letting me know what to do with Megan Fox. I would need, like, one of those things. I'd have to get a camera, and you'd have to be like, okay, a little lower.
Where's the clitoris? I don't know. I don't believe it exists. Hold on, I'll Google it.
But this is why it'd be perfect, because I know where that is.
But I don't think all women have it. So.
Yes, they do.
They do? All women?
Well, I've heard of women being born without them, so that's...
See, there you go. That's the ones I've dated my whole life. They said I could never find it, so don't ask
it's
me.
probably just not there, yeah.
Yeah, keep doing that.
But you and I together would make the perfect girlfriend. Like, I have the vagina that she's interested in,
right?
And then you can tell me what to do with it.
Call now.
888-460-6002.
And online at CooperandAnthony.com. Sex, relationships, advice.
Did you hear that?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
If you tell me how old you are, I can guess how many people you've boned.
Or are boning, or have boned.
Have boned, like your number. Like how many people, yeah. How many people whose pants you've been in your life. See, there's a new survey that found the number of people you've banged is determined by what generation you're from.
Oh, so like my generation compared to my parents and their grandparents?
Yeah.
So who's getting the most?
We are.
Really?
Yes.
More than my grandparents?
More than your grandparents and much more than your children.
Oh, that's not good. So
Yeah,
I'm getting
crazy?
more than my children? Oh, the planet's doomed.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they are doomed. Wait till you hear these numbers. Okay, so according to this survey, baby boomers have an average of 10 partners. They've had 10 partners in their lives.
Their whole lives?
Yeah.
Not last week.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. Like, my mom had a high school boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
She had a college boyfriend. Then she had my dad. Then she dated this guy before she married my stepfather. So that's only 5 guys right there. That's 5. And they're saying baby boomers had 10.
Oh, yeah. Your mom, 10 times that.
No, but my mom, like, for 5 people, she was a hoe. Because if you think about it, like, most of her friends married their high school sweethearts and stayed with them their whole lives, and they only saw one dick their whole lives.
Uh-huh. So how about our generation?
Wait, before I get to our generation, I want to go the other direction. Gen Z. This surprised me. Because Gen Z, I gotta say, the generation coming up behind us, they are way better than us. They're better people. They care more about the world. They care more about each other, the environment. They're so much more woke. Yeah, they don't smoke. They don't do drugs. They look down on people who have cigarettes. Yeah. They also are more careful about their sexual partners. On average, if you're Gen Z, you've only had 5 partners.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm scared to ask.
Yeah.
About our generation.
13.
13. Okay, so we double our parents almost.
Yeah, we triple our kids. We double our parents.
I wonder why.
Well, what's interesting, it's 13 on average, which means so the high end of that is like 20 something and the low end is like, 7 or 8. But still, 7 or 8 at the low end is still more than 5. Gen Z's only having 5, which is, I think our generation, we were
scared of AIDS, but that didn't stop us.
No, we just used condoms.
Right. But there was a big thing. AIDS, if you sleep with anybody, you get AIDS. But we weren't scared at all.
So which generation do you think is getting the most ass?
Call now.
888-460-6002.
And online at CooperandAnthony.com.
You fake?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
So pretend your boyfriend and my wife are not listening.
Okay. You mean pretend that's what's actually happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
That we forbid them, by the way, to listen to this show. So
They don't listen to our show.
Yeah,
ever.
they have no idea. So give me.
They think we work at McDonald's.
They don't know what we do every single night starting at 7. They just think we leave.
We
So
just always bring fries home.
yeah, I have to stop at Krispy Kreme just to make sure she doesn't get suspicious. So if they aren't listening, what is your real number?
Are you kidding me? My favorite thing is I stopped counting so long ago, and I had one summer, and I love the fact that they're saying like our generation 13. I think I had one summer that I had 13.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my best friends, we were sitting around and counting, and I was like, yeah, no, I think I'm like 27 sounds right. And she's like, you just named 27 guys and you think that's it? I was like, what do you mean? She goes, what about Jake? What about, remember that guy Henry? Remember we went away for that one weekend and there was some guy you were boning that whole weekend? So don't be around your best friends when you put your number together because they know more. Like I was like, no, like 27. She's like, try 40.
Yeah, I mean, there's 27 one summer my friends know about.
Right.
You know, let's talk about the ones they don't know about. So, yeah, I'm thinking 3 times that.
When I first discovered sex, I was like, this is awesome. Who wants to do this with me? I discovered this new thing. Anybody want to do this?
It's fun. Bring a friend.
I mean, the joke is like my friends and I had this thing that whenever a guy took us out to dinner, I had this one girlfriend that was like, I feel like after dinner I should do something, but I don't want to go all the way. So I give him a hand, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh yeah, not me. I go all the way. It's like, thanks for the salad. Want to come over and toss mine?
Rick, which generation do you think is getting the most play?
I think that the millennials are having a lot less because you took my thunder whenever you were talking about AIDS because everybody's scared because that's one thing that, they're getting better at curing it, preventing it, but it's still there and it's something Ajax won't even take off.
Right.
So, but the numbers they can't be right. I spent 7 years in the military and I was 5 years as a police officer, single. I know those numbers can't be right.
Call now.
888-460-6002.
And online at CooperandAnthony.com.
Here we go.
Sex.
Yes, please.
Relationships. Yeah. Advice.
Are you ready?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Hey, Bud, what's your theory on why different generations are having more sex than others?
I can tell you why without a blink of an eye.
Okay.
I do home improvements. I must meet over 200 clients a year. And I meet their families, and I'm on a personal level with each and every one of them. And I know their children.
Right.
And most of the boys, and I'm not going to lay this on the girls because the girls are actually stepping up to the plate these days, and they're wanting to move on and get life and get a career. The boys, they don't want to do nothing. They want to sit at home. They want to mooch off their parents. Sorry, it's the way I see it. They want to play the Xbox. It's all about the games, and more games. They're not interested in cars. I've got quite a few nephews. I've got a fiance who has 2 boys. And one of the boys out of all these boys, 7 of them total, is interested in girls. And that's my fiance's youngest son, and he's 10. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to capture him because his dad is giving him these Xbox games and these phones and social media objects, I guess you want to call them, to just get them out of their hair.
Right.
And so I look at the 80s, the people that were born in the 80s, as kind of toddlers to their children today, and I see it. And they want to give them everything so they won't whine. Well, I'm different. I'm from the 70s, and I raised my girls, and I do mean girls, and I was pretty tough with them. But you know what? Both my girls are doing better than me, make more money than I do, and don't need their daddy no more. And that's the way it is. I mean, that's the way it should be. And I got grandkids, and all my friends are telling me, I'm never going to have grandkids. I said, yeah, because your kid can't get off the Xbox long enough.
Call now
888-460-6002.
Yeah.
and online at CooperandAnthony.com. Sex, relationships, advice.
What?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
We're talking about this new survey that is looking at how many people you have had sex with in your life based on how old you are. Baby boomers, 10. Gen Z, 5. Our generation, 13. The most. No shock there. So what do you guys think? Have you had a lot of partners, a little? Do you think it's generational? What's your theory?
Call now
888-460-6002.
and online at CooperandAnthony.com. Sex, relationships, advice. The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Brad, why do you think our generation has had more partners than our parents and our kids?
We had, unlike that guy was talking with the baby boomer thing, we had cases of condoms, and we'd go to bars alone and come back with crowds of girls and end up, a skateboarder with Tony Hawk, a surfer with Kelly Slater in Florida. Just back in the day, your skater thrasher going to punk rock clubs and seeing bands like Bad Brains and Grievous Bodily Harm, and just tearing the women up, 3 a night sometimes. And it added up being about 347 girls from 86 to 1990. Whoa. And there's been more. There's been more since then, but it's dramatically slowed down compared to back then. But it was like a competition. But we'd go to the bars and hook up. And I think the problem now is that all these punks, these kids wearing their skinny pants is why they're not getting any.
their pants are too tight. That's the reason.
Yeah, they don't feel anything from the waist down.
It's totally cut off. And it takes 3 hours to get your pants off. So by that time, kids are too lazy. By the time you get your pants off, you're like, I'm tired. I have to take a nap.
Charlie, how come our generation is so promiscuous?
Right before I got married at age 25, I stuttered so bad. Before that, I stuttered so bad. Women wouldn't have nothing to do with me in school because everybody said, "Oh, he's a freak. He stutters. He ain't been with that gonna be with him." And then whenever I blossomed, or whatever the word you want to call it is,
right?
All the women wanted me. I was the biggest player on the planet. I got all the women I ever wanted, and I found one that was a true woman. And all these people out here, whether you guys or girls, and you're looking for the right girl or girl looking for the right guy,
right,
you better take him to the beach and you better see what he's about.
Men don't understand. Women want to have sex. You guys are always like, we're going to talk them into bed. You don't have to talk to us into bed. We're out there looking for penetrators.
We can talk you not to get into bed with us pretty easy. We can say the stupid things and then you go, I'm not sleeping with that guy. So I think it's easier to talk out of bed than into bed.
Yeah, and just like I said, remember, we're looking for someone to penetrate us. We're always out there. Always on the hunt.
Someone or something.
Right. If you can't do it, I'll tell you what store to go to.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Here we go.
Sex,
Yes, please.
relationships, advice.
Are you ready?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
I'm about to help every woman listening, or every man that has a woman in his life that has pain during sex. Like, it's painful. Like, if you're a vulva haver, sometimes sex could be like, ouch, rather than This is the latest study that I thought was really awesome, because what they found is there is a position that, I don't care whether you're a or a person, this is the position to have sex in.
Is it this position like this?
No. What do you do? No. No, it's not that one either. You should never be doing that one. That looks like painful for you. I'm in pain watching you do that right now.
How about like this?
No, your legs shouldn't move like that.
That's why it's painful for her.
You don't need that much leverage. No, you're good. No, actually, the spooning position is the best position for anybody that has any kind of pain during sex, during intercourse. The spooning position, meaning like the guy is behind, the woman's in front, and they're both laying, big spoon, little spoon, like you when you're laying in bed and you're spooning, just like a regular night that you're spooning with somebody.
Call now.
888-460-6002.
and online at CooperandAnthony.com.
Something called
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
We are taking your random calls this hour. Any sexual issue you have, any sex question, this is the time to call and ask us about your intimate, personal stuff. You don't even have to use a name. You can be anonymous. You can be you. It doesn't matter. We just want to hear what's going on, and we're here to help.
Jessica, you're up first. What's your sex question?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm like a dancer and a cheerleader at my high school, and I have a lot of friends, and I'm pretty popular, and I've never had a boyfriend, and I've never even had a guy like me as far as I'm concerned. I was wondering if I'm like the demented one in this situation, or like what's up?
I think that's really common when you're in high school, when you're young, that, listen, boys mature way later than girls do. You're super popular, accomplished, you have all kinds of stuff going on, so it's going to be intimidating. You know, it's not like the guys your age have a ton of experience that they could handle a woman like you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think like guys look at women like that, really at any age, and they feel like it's not that they're high maintenance, it's just that they need to step up their game. You cannot be bad in the sack. You can't be a bad kisser even with a girl that is like popular, a cheerleader, a dancer, has a lot of friends. We'll tell those friends, oh my God, that guy, Alexander, he was awful. He's a terrible kisser. You don't want the reputation out there. So guys are not going to take a risk with a popular girl. And that's the biggest misnomer, that people look at popular women and hot women and think that, oh my God, everybody must be after them. I've never been a hot woman, but I have a friend who is. A friend who's like, no, really, I have a friend who's like super hot, like supermodel hot. And boys never spoke to her. You would think guys would be throwing themselves at her, but when we were like really young, guys never spoke to her because they were really intimidated by her. They thought that she's never going to be interested in me. So as a result, you know me, I lost my virginity when I was 15. She didn't lose her virginity until she graduated college because like she couldn't find anybody. It wasn't for lack of trying.
I know, but how many times have I heard this story? It's like Margot Robbie. I was so ugly in high school. Or you hear Mila Kunis. I was so unattractive, nobody hit on me. Whatever.
No, we're not saying that they were ugly. We're saying that the opposite, that they were really hot in high school. And that's intimidating to high school boys. It's the rare high school boy who has the ego or the narcissism to look at a girl like that and think, she'll be all over this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the opposite. And also, at least my friend, who was like super hot, also was really tall. Like, she got tall really quickly. So she was taller than most of the boys. So they're not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, when you're 5'4", the girl's like almost 6 feet. You're not going to be the guy who's going to be like, hey, can you hear me up there? You want to go on a date?
Yeah, I've never heard that before, loser.
Call now.
888-460-6002.
And online at CooperandAnthony.com. Sex, relationships, advice.
right now.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Okay, I broke up with my girlfriend, and the next day she got into a car accident, thus giving her a huge concussion and blocking out a large chunk of short-term memory, including the breakup.
She forgot he broke up with him.
This is great.
Oh, man, you got to do it again.
Oh, no.
I'm trying to be as gentle as possible. I just don't know the fine line between giving a darn about somebody and getting the breakup over with, and just making sure that this stays stuck.
There's no way not to be a douchebag.
How many movies were made about this exact same thing? You know what I mean? Where like somebody lost their memory the day after something major happened, and you got to like reconvince them of who they are and who loves them and who doesn't.
I want to make this movie. If this Lifetime would buy this in a second. They would be all over this crap right here.
I can see Owen Wilson and Sandra Bullock starring in this tomorrow.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah,
I mean,
Noah, sorry that
was...
we're laughing at you, but you got to admit, this is a funny story.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have you tried to break up with somebody and it's hell? You don't know how to do it, and you don't want to do it.
Right, but the beauty of this, in this situation, Noah, is that you've already broken up with her, so you know how it's going to feel. You know what her reaction is going to be. This is almost a gift. So now you think, because every time you break up with somebody, you go home, you're like, I should have said this, I should have said that. You get a do-over. this is great. The fact that you get a chance to break up with her again and just be honest. I mean, here's the best thing. Like, you don't want somebody to be pining away for you, wanting to be with you that you don't want to be with. Like, the sooner you break up with her, the sooner she can go find somebody who's better for her.
When she gets released from the hospital, then she can find somebody else.
Well, don't break up with her in the hospital. Wait till she's out. I mean, you're not going to go to the hospital and be like, although she's probably there going, why isn't Noah coming to see me?
Yeah, she's going to put stuff on Facebook that Noah's a douche because he's not coming to see me.
Right.
And he's the love of my life, and I plan to marry him, and he's not coming. You have to do it in the hospital.
Yeah, you got to do it. You're right. You have to do it in the hospital. Yeah, it's terrible. It's awful that she's in a hospital bed, but
bite the bullet again.
You got to bite the bullet again, and the environment is going to suck. But whatever you said the first time, say that again, just a little kinder.
Just make sure her parents aren't in the room.
Right. No, you need a witness.
I know, but you
make sure the nurse or somebody is there. That way, in case she forgets, they can remind her. Remember, Noah was here yesterday. He broke up with you. It's like Groundhog Day.
Shoot a TikTok, breaking up with her, and then send it to her so she can look at it all the time. You don't believe we did it? Look, right here. Here's a video.
Here's you. There's the hospital bed. There's your nurse.
There's mom and dad, and there's me breaking up with you. There's you crying. See? It happened. I don't have to do this again.
Call now.
888-460-6002.
And online at CooperandAnthony.com. Sex, relationships, advice. The Cooper and Anthony Show.
We are taking your sex and relationship questions, just anything random that's going on in your life, anything that you're having an issue with. Give us a call right now, and we'll walk you through it. We'll help you. We are here for you. Sometimes you don't want to talk to a friend. Sometimes you don't want to tell your parents. That's what we're here for.
We're not your friend.
We're not your friend. Talk to us.
We'll tell you exactly what you should hear.
We'll be honest with you. Like, your friends will not be honest with you. They'll tell you what they think you need to hear. We'll tell you exactly what you need to hear.
Call now.
888-460-6002.
And online at CooperandAnthony.com.
Something called
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
This is the Sex Hour. We are taking any random sex question you have. 888-460-6002.
You know, we should have got a 976 number so we can charge for advice. Yeah, those still have to be available. So
charge by the minute?
Charge by the minute. Then you get your advice. We make a couple of bucks because we ain't making crap here. So we make a couple of bucks, and then you can give advice.
But they're not going to call for advice and pay for it. If they're going to call for a 976, we got to put out.
Okay, so one of two things. Cooper will put out, call now, or we will tell you your future like Miss Cleo. We can do that too. So we'll get paid either way.
I'll tell you your future. If you're calling a radio show and paying something that should be free, you're going to be broke within the year.
It's not a good year for you.
Won't be a good year for you at all. 888-460-6002. Jonathan, what's your sex question?
Oh, good. My problem is I'm becoming obsessed with picking up prostitutes.
Oh.
And I'm acting on impulse, and I get nervous when I do it, and I end up doing it anyways, and I regret it later.
How many have you had, like, let's say, just last week?
Well, last week I did 2.
Wow.
You think 2 is a lot in a week?
I think 2 is a lot in your life.
Okay.
I think that's a lot. I think that's a problem.
Jonathan, is it an expensive hobby?
Well, $200 an hour. My company gave me, like, expense money for fuel, and I ended up blowing all the money on that.
And you have to give the HR lady like a receipt. Itemized. Oh, I see you got oral. There's the check.
We did some mattress testing.
That's a check. Okay, that's $50. Condom, that was $2. Yeah,
what do you need the knee pads? What do you need knee pads for?
That wasn't for me. So, but I still was charged.
Wait, so Jonathan, where do you find all these women?
But I've been calling like escort services and going up north to Vegas and paying $200, $250 an hour. and I'm nervous as hell when I do it, but after I'm done doing it, I feel great.
Sex workers need money. It's a business. I mean, I go get bagels every day. I don't feel guilty about that. You're just more expensive bagels. It's like, if that's what you're into, that's what you're into. Embrace it.
Yeah, I think bagels are worse for you than prostitutes are for him.
Exactly. You feel great afterwards. I hate myself afterwards.
How long has this been going on?
About 2 years now, ever since my old lady left me. I don't have any confidence anymore, so this is just an easier way.
Right. Okay, well, that's the bigger issue. This has nothing to do with prostitutes. This has to do with your level of confidence. I mean, you could be confident and go to prostitutes twice a day, and it's healthy. Do you know what I mean? So this has nothing to do with prostitutes, everything to do with your self-esteem and self-worth. That's the bigger issue. I would address that. I mean, I think it might be time to... You have all that money, maybe it's one prostitute, one therapist.
Yeah, the bigger issue is, in most states, it's illegal. And 2, you can't have your company pay for it. That's the problem.
Right.
You can't expense that.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Here we go.
Sex,
Yes, please.
relationships, advice. Are you ready? The Cooper and Anthony Show.
All right, next sex question. Seth, what's going on with you?
Got a small problem. About 8 years ago, I met a girl. We crossed paths where she worked and I previously worked. She saw me once, walked out of her life for about 5.5, 6 years. I went back over to Europe, thought nothing of the encounter. 2.5, 3 years ago, in the circle that I work in, we crossed paths again. And for the last 2.5 years, we've been intimate. And she has a boyfriend the past 8 years. She means a great deal to me, like nobody could imagine. I don't sleep around. I'm not saying she does. She has the boyfriend. She won't let go, but she tells me she's loved me. She loves me. I care for her immensely. A little piece of advice that Godfather had given to me once. He said, if you ever make the decision to bed down with a girl, ask yourself, is this the one you want to have your child with, should that occur? And she would be the one for me.
No, she's not the one for you. That's the bigger issue. She's obviously not... I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, Seth. She's not that into you. She enjoys having sex with you, but when it comes to a relationship, that's a whole different thing. She has a guy for that, and it's not you.
Seth, you sound like a chick. You need them. You sound like every girl I've ever dated. Just move on. I mean, there are 50 million women out there. Find another one.
Yeah, no, I hate to say this, but Anthony's right. I kind of agree with him. The reason why this girl isn't for you is because she's not that into you. You want someone who's like crazy about you the way you are about them. So right there, that should be your deal breaker. So I'm glad you're enjoying having sex with her. And if you want to have an open relationship, then that's your girl. But honestly, this is not the one for you. Like Anthony said, move on. There's somebody out there for you right now. You got to go find her.
Take your left hand, Seth, put it in your pocket, give your balls a tug, then move on.
Right.
Make sure they're still there. Give them a tug, move them to the side, move on.
I was going to say hold your head up high, but maybe the other head.
Give your balls a tug.
Coming up next.
Men, how do you hear us? How do you hear our voices?
The Cooper and Anthony Show. Sex, relationships, advice. The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Hey, I'm Cooper, and with me today and every day, like herpes, is my producer, Anthony Michaels.
I never go away. I'm always here.
Yeah, you come back at a time when I'm like in the middle of something. It's like, friggin' Anthony again.
You finally got that date. Here I am. Hi. Now you have to explain me to the guy you're with.
Yeah, I always have to disclose. There's 3 of us in this relationship. There's me and you,
and
but then every
herpes.
once in a while there's Anthony. Yeah, it's sort of like herpes. Yeah, exactly. So speaking of relationships, I'm having a little bit of an issue with my boyfriend right now. I feel like he hears every 3rd word I say. I spend most of my relationship repeating everything I say to him. I should just get like a hologram of myself. He would never know the difference. Just a hologram that he can ignore.
Call now.
888-460-6002.
And online at CooperandAnthony.com.
Something called
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
Anthony, my boyfriend is driving me insane right now.
Because it's a day.
It's so frustrating because, we live together as well. So everything I say to him, I always have to repeat myself. He doesn't hear me. And I said to him the other day, I was like, when I talk to you, what exactly do you hear? He said, well, for being honest, I hear the Marge Simpson voice. I hear you talking like this, this town needs a monorail. He's like, that's what I hear in my head whenever you talk. And it's a little annoying, and sometimes I tune you out.
See, it's hard for me because we've been doing this show for a long time. And it took me probably a year or two to train myself to actually listen to you. Because it's just another woman's voice just flapping in the background in my life. So I have to train myself. No, you have to listen to
Pay
every
attention.
word.
She's saying something on the radio that you're going to need to respond to.
Yeah, how many times have you gone to me and I'm just like, huh?
Many times. But I feel like maybe that's it. Maybe I should do a radio show with my boyfriend to force him to listen to me. Maybe that's it. We just do a podcast together. So I could just hear. This would be the podcast. The podcast would be me going, okay, grocery shopping. Here's what we need. It would just be me doing a grocery list every single time you turn on the podcast.
Well, the thing is, it takes years. Because we just don't listen. It's not your fault. It's not our fault. It's just the way men are built.
But it's like, okay, so this latest thing, I just said to him, we have to make a pact not to spend money on stupid stuff. Only necessities from here on in. We don't have the money to spend on dumb stuff. He's like, yeah, no, totally, yeah. He's, giving me the yes. I wake up and I walk in the bathroom. There's something in there called a toilet timer that he saw on Shark Tank.
What is that?
Okay, it's actually kind of cute, but don't tell him I said that. It's this little thing. It looks like a guy pooping, and it's basically like a sand clock. Remember those sand timer things from back in the day, from grandma's era, where it's I don't know what they're called. Is it called sand clock? Am I making that word up?
Yeah.
What's it called?
A sand clock.
Okay, a sand clock.
Hourglass.
An hourglass. Thank you.
Sand clock. Okay, so it's got a sand clock on it. The guy pooping. Then what?
But the sand is coming out of the guy's poop, so it goes for 5 minutes is what I timed it at. So it's a timer, but then I had to time the timer to see how long it goes for. So we only have one bathroom, and he got it because he wanted to see. He's always amazed that I do girl poops. I go in, I poop, and I'm out. I literally I pee longer than I poop. I'm in and I'm out. It's so fast. And he thinks it's amazing. And he's in there for longer periods of time. He thought it'd be like a little social experiment. But he spent money on it. I'm like, I just told you, stop spending money on things we don't need. He's like, well, you just bought a dishwasher. I'm like, yeah, because ours broke and it leaked to the apartment below us. And I was trying to avoid a lawsuit. That's kind of a necessity. All right, so I want to know from you guys, how do we hear each other? When your woman talks to you, what do you hear? What happens in your head when it comes out of our mouth and goes into your ear? What goes on in your brain that you are not understanding the language we are speaking?
Call now.
888-460-6002.
And online at CooperandAnthony.com. Sex
with an attitude.
Relationships.
I had a relationship once.
And advice.
So you got any advice for me?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
We're talking about how men and women hear each other and why we don't seem to speak the same language. It's not like men are from Mars. Men are from hell. That's what I've decided.
It's not hell. It's a different zip code.
Sure, but you just had this conversation about how men and women hear each other. Well, what happened?
I swear I did. About 5 hours ago with my female boss, I had this conversation.
What happened?
Well, it's such a long story because she blew everything out of proportion over something that her boyfriend was talking about. And I told her, I said, women talk all the time, men get tired of listening to it. I said, we hear every third word, and this is why texting is such a wonderful tool for men. You can send me 5 or 6 words. I got it. I understand it. I don't need to reply. I got you. Texting is exactly what we do. And if you will talk to us
as if you were sending us a text, we'd have a long conversation for about 10 seconds.
And we would listen.
And we would actually understand and listen and do whatever it is you ask us to do.
What's the noise you hear when a woman talks to you?
Oh God, a constant whining sound. It sounds like one of these little, and Anthony will appreciate it. It sounds like a Yamaha motorcycle. It's like 8,000 RPM or something. A whining little sound.
Let me hear. What does that sound like? And no matter what you say to us, you know what we hear? You're fat and I hate you.
Is that what you hear?
That's what we hear. No matter what you say, we hear that we're fat.
I would never have the kahunas to stand up and ever say something like that, even if I thought it was true.
Sherby, anything you say to us, that's what we hear. If you say, have a nice day, I'll say, how dare you call me fat?
That is so not true, though. That's your own insecurity.
Yep.
That is a female insecurity thing. I don't know. I can't help you with your own problem.
So right now when I say your necklace looks really big.
You and Sherby both called me fat somehow just now.
You think I'm talking about your butt, not your necklace.
Both of you just somehow called me fat.
Call now.
888-460-6002.
Yeah. And online at CooperandAnthony.com. Sex, relationships, advice.
What?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
All right, Anthony, I'm going to test you to see if you're actually listening to me. You claim that after all these years you hear me. So let's test that theory.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to just say a list of random stuff, and then I want you to just repeat it back to me. That's all. Very simple.
Try it. I think I can do this.
I'll start easy. Kitten.
Mm-hmm.
Tea kettle.
Uh-huh.
Mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Uh-huh.
Pepperoni pizza.
Right.
Shoes.
Of course.
Pillow.
Uh-huh.
Body pillow.
Right.
Throw pillow.
See, that's too many pillows. You lost me. I heard kitten, and I think you said pizza. Did you say pizza?
I did.
Okay. You said pizza, you said kitten, and then you went into a bunch of pillows I don't care about.
I said pepperoni pizza, thinking that it would make you like really think about pizza.
No, I think I heard pizza. I'm not sure I heard pizza, but I know I heard kitten and just a bunch of pillow crap.
How do you hear each other's voices? Call now.
Call now.
888-460-6002.
And online at CooperandAnthony.com. The Cooper and Anthony Show.
We're taking your calls. How do men and women hear each other? Ricky, what do you hear when women talk to you?
It's the Charlie Brown thing. Wah, 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 wah.
That's what you hear.
That's exactly right. She sent me to the grocery store. Wah, 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 wah. I get to the grocery store, I have to call her and say, what'd you tell me to get?
Right, see? Do you know how frustrating that is for us? We've told you.
Yeah, but you start out and say, I need this, but I don't want that kind. I want this kind that's got the non-fat, 2%, whatever. You know, just tell me what you want.
And by the way, there's a new invention. It's called a pen.
Yeah, write it down.
Pen?
A pen.
You can't do that and watch TV at the same time.
Right. She can write it down and then hand it.
Exactly. Yeah. She can write it down instead of all that wah. She can write it down, hand a note, and say, go to the grocery store for me.
And we'd get the right thing.
And how long have you known us? You don't know that we drink 2% milk.
No, we don't know you drink 2% milk.
How many years have we been together, Ricky? You know what I drink.
You know
what kind of that woman of yours.
We go organic 2%, and then sometimes you can just use regular milk when you're making mashed potatoes. You don't have to have the organic for the mashed potatoes, and then you have to have fat free you have to have fat type to make the biscuits and gravy.
Yep.
So I mean, there's.
I understand that. You can't use one milk for
everything.
everything.
4 different refrigerators. And, oh, man. You just...
Did Ricky just call you fat?
Ricky just called me fat somehow. That's what just happened.
Call now.
888-460-6002.
And online at CooperandAnthony.com.
Here we go.
Sex,
Yes, please.
relationships, advice.
Are you ready?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
I've spent my whole life not hearing women at all.
That doesn't make sense to me, because if you want women, if you see a hot woman and you want her, why wouldn't you pay extra special attention to make sure that you've heard the things that she has said? That way you have a better shot at getting with her. Do you know what I mean?
I don't care what she has to say.
But it's not about what she has to say. It's about you wanting her to pay attention to you. Like, why wouldn't you extra listen to her to get her interested in you? Women don't like to be ignored.
Okay, I'll look at you while you talk. I'm not listening to you. I'm replaying the last Panther game in my head. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing other things. I'm rebuilding a 72 Chevelle in my head while you're talking.
I think men that do this right know how to at least pretend to listen to what we're saying to get us in bed, I feel. I mean, it's not the greatest tactic, and we know what you're doing, but we also would like to have sex. Newsflash, women also want to have sex. So we also pretend to hear what you're saying.
You want to have sex, but you want to talk a lot more.
Yeah.
You would rather talk than have sex.
That's so true for men as well. I can't tell you how many. Every man I'm with, I cannot shut them up.
You're dating the wrong guy. Because I don't want to talk. I'm talked out. By the time I come home, I'm done.
Now, Eric, you have a theory about this. What's your theory?
Well, I like to call it the cassette tape theory.
Okay.
Think of it as, okay, we're on different frequencies. And with men, we're on the economy play.
Okay.
We're slow, and we can only handle a short amount of information in that space. Mm-hmm. Whereas women are on the super long play version of the tape. They try to cram as much information as they can into that same amount of space. So
stop applauding. What are you, Vanna White?
He's making a lot of sense.
So when that's why men say when they hear women speak, they only hear every third word, because, you know, the women just go so much faster that we only catch every other third word. So what men need to do is learn to kind of speed up a little bit and get more information in, and women need to learn to slow down and try to be a little more precise.
Yeah, cut out the fat. Cut out the fat in the conversation and make it real condensed.
So if you say, well, I want vanilla, he hears vanilla. But if you say, well, I want the vanilla, but I don't want the imitation, I want the real thing, and it's got to be out of the little container. We don't hear that. We just hear the one word, vanilla. That's it.
Yep.
But you realize when you show up with the wrong one, you're getting back in the car and going back to the store, right? I'm sorry. You realize that when you show up with the wrong one, we will send you back to the store.
He heard store. You said realize, and you didn't need to say realize, so we tuned you out. You put too many words in that sentence.
Right.
But I spoke slowly. I spoke at man speed.
No, watch. Eric and I can talk with just grunts. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, we can have a.
You two just called me fat. See, this is what I'm saying. I don't know. I think that's really rude, Eric. I wouldn't call you on your radio show and tell you had a big butt. I wouldn't, even if it was true.
Hey, I wasn't the one that said to trim out the fat. That was someone else in a conversation.
See? I'm telling you. Mm-hmm. That's all we hear.
We can't even say a word, and
He somehow called me fat and said he hates me. All in the same sentence. I don't know how that happened.
And that your sister's hot. He said that.
Right. And then he'd rather be with my sister.
The Cooper and Anthony Show.